What would you do when it's April and it's raining outside? This is why most likely there'll be a lot of noise on this video, but nevertheless, what I do, I look at the computers that arrived to the channel and see if they're okay, if we can make them work. The story about this, well, the story about this video related to this is my go-to Olivetti computers nowadays if I need to get something for Windows 3.11 or 95, the earlier Windows. I have my Olivetti M475S, I think it is. It's peeking over there at the corner, and you can have a look at it up there. This one seems to be the same casing, and it's kind of like the same number, but it's called an Olivetti M4 P100S. The P must mean something special because the other one doesn't have a P. But we will have a look into the description and see what it holds. So maybe I retire the other one and go forward using this because this should be faster. If there is a Pentium 100 inside this one, because there's a Pentium 75 in the other one. So let me bring the camera closer. Let's have a twirl around. Let's try and open it up. It's already open, I don't know why. But let's have a look inside. Come on. So here's the computer. It's the Olivetti M4 P100S Modular with the Olivetti logo down here. And there's Intel inside Pentium plastic sticker here. As you can see, it's kind of like open already. And if you look over there, this is my go-to. I was talking about the M475S. So there's no P in front of it. The casing is the same. And I know the casing number behind it, so I'll see when we troll around if it is really the same. So let's briefly just have a talk about all of this. So it's the same thing. But what I noticed in the beginning, this is the lock for open the computer up. You need to turn it on and off. So if I briefly take my go-to one in, so this, which we then turn to open the casing up, that's broken off. It doesn't exist here. If we move to the other side, sadly, I already know it's the same issue over here. So that could be a problem, I'm not sure. The casing is dirty. There's a few scars on it, but it's not that bad. It actually, yeah, it looks a bit super dirty inside, but there we go. We twirl to the back. It is the same in the back as the other one, and I can see that this model, the casing is called Tiny SL-2. So it is the same casing. There's no doubt about that. The serial number is most likely called 0503894. So there's only one thing to do. Let's open it up so we can have a look inside. So I'll see if I can. There we go. It's really dusty, but there we go. Let's have a look inside. Looks fine. There's a date stamp in here, which I kind of like. 20 September, but the rest is, I don't know, but I think it's called 1998 maybe. Let's take this to the side. Whee! Have a look. I need to bring this super closer. I hope we can see inside and see that this is disgusting. Let me just do this and try to do this. So yeah, filled with dust all over the place. So yeah, I don't know what to say. This is the CPU. We have a card in here, which is a network card. Let's take it out afterwards. It's the same thing again. So you need to open up here, move this to the side, and then you can open it up. It just gets even worse. There's a hard disk in here. There's a floppy disk drive, which holds a disk in it, and a CD-ROM drive, obviously. So, you know what? I don't want to bother you too much with this because you can go and watch the other computer. Sorry, it's really raining right now. I will just take this apart. It's the same thing as the other one. Take this apart, clean everything. Once I've cleaned it, I'll come back and hopefully it stops raining. So I've cleaned everything, and before we have a look at the motherboard, and you can actually see it now, it's a little bit amazing. It's beautiful, and the casing went out okay. There are scars and stuff. I need us to have a tiny look at the power supply. Let me move the camera a little bit closer, just like this, because we need to test it. And I obviously have opened it. There's a screw on the top and there's a screw on the bottom. You need to screw the power supply out, so there's screws on the sides, both sides here, and then there are screws in the back. So I opened up the power supply. I had a look inside. It was a little bit dusty in there, as the rest of the computer, so I blew some air in it. I used some API to clean everything in the power supply. And then I had a look at, are there any refills in it? And there are no refills in this power supply. And I looked at the capacitors. They were beautiful. So I cannot say that's anything obviously wrong with the power supply. So this is why I built the power supply back in this contraption. This is where you have the hard disk and the floppy disk and the CD-ROM drive. They're all in the top, and it's all been cleaned. The only issue is that, which I will come back to, the CD-ROM drive. We need to look at the CD-ROM drive. So, okay, power supply. Let me put some load to the power supply, which we usually do with a turn around with a hard disk, just to have a little bit of load on it. I don't think it's necessary, but nevertheless, let's just put a hard disk over here, and then we should be able, with the voltmeter, to see if it actually works. And if I do on the Molex connector here, ground is the black one, blue should be 12 volts, red over here should be, sorry, there we go. Red should be 5, and then we have the two connectors. I'm assuming this is AT, an AT power supply. Well, it is. It's an AT power supply. So we should be able to find minus 12 and plus 12. The white one is most likely power okay. So we'll test it. I'll turn it on. We'll see whether or not we get the right voltage out of the Molex, and then we'll have a peek inside here to see if we can find the minus 12 also. So let me take some power to it. That's it. And if I turn on the power supply here, I'm hearing the hard disk spinning up. The voltmeter is going steady on 11.7. So that should be all good. If we move over to 5 volts, which is 5.14, it's okay. And if we then have a look in here and I find some ground, which again is black, and I do the yellow, I think that's the minus 12 volt rail. And yes, it tells me 12 volt. The blue one is the plus 12 volt. And the white one should be power okay, that gives me 5.1. And on the other connector we only have ground and 5 volt. The gray one I actually don't know. Should we just test? I can't remember. That gives me minus 5, well, 4.96. So let's turn off the power supply. Let's acknowledge that the power supply, once again in an Olivetti computer, is just working after 20-ish plus years. So I will build this back into the computer over here, the power supply obviously. I will mount the hard disk, which actually sits, because this is now upside down, so this sits like this in here, and I'll put the floppy disk drive in, and then we need to have a look what's wrong with the CD-ROM drive. I cleaned it, and I took it very carefully out because I needed to clean in here to see if it was dirty. It was dirty, but now I can't put it in again. So we need to figure out how to get into a CD-ROM drive. When I have a look like this, I can feel there's something in there. So maybe it is broken. So let me mount all this, get it over there, And then let's have a look at the CD-ROM drive. Okay, let's tackle the CD-ROM drive and figure out why I cannot close it anymore. And as I said, there's something rattling inside. What is this? This is a CD-747E, and it's from Acer Incorporated. This is a CD-ROM drive I've never seen before, so I do not actually know how fast it is and stuff. We can look it up afterwards. But all the settings are in the back, so it's very easy to understand and put into a computer. It shouldn't be any problem at all. This is already set as a master, and I saw it was on, let's see if I find the cable, on a separate cable where the hard disk was on another one. So in the computer, it's over here. There are two IDE connectors. So both the hard disk and this one is then a master on each channel, if you like. So how do we get in? There must be a screw somewhere. Let me see. Okay, no screw. But there is a what? There is a warranty sticker here. And I think, yeah, let's break it like this. And then we need to figure out how to take this off. I think a spatula or screwdriver or something may be able to. Let me just quickly do that. Okay, sorry, the camera, yeah, didn't act as it should, so I'll start off. Let me just explain what happened. This was, the CD-ROM drive was in here. I was trying to get this out, and I was trying to find a screwdriver, maybe to like lift it up. That's wrong. As you can see, maybe here, this hinge goes like this and locks into there. So therefore, when the CD-ROM drive was in here, I just had to push it that way. And then it came off, and inside we had the CD-ROM drive, which was laying in here, so I moved this out. So that's where we are at right now. Also, if I show you this, maybe you can see it. That's what fell out. I see something in here, and then I saw something that is a bronze metal thing that came out. So maybe this is not working anymore. Let me just for fun. I got this amazing camera, which is over there. So I can actually do this now and move this in. Ah, it's a ladybug that's in there, together with this piece. I hope you can see it, everybody. So this piece over there, that's the metal. I think it's bronze, but all of this is just a ladybug. Okay, so that can go in the bin. So we have that piece that fell out. We need to figure out maybe where this goes. Okay, let's let me just move the camera a little bit further down again. Just like this. I'll take the camera away. So the problem why this cannot go back is that I can see this has lifted up. This is went out of the rails, and therefore it bumps into this top head that guides the slide where the CD-ROM reader, that's this part in there, is sitting. So I cannot get it in. So I need somehow to get this aligned into the slate. So I need to get this out and then move it in again. So there's a plastic piece here, which I expect, let me find something here. If I lift this, you can't move it further out than what it is now, but I think if we lift this upwards, this is plastic, so fragile. Yes, then we can get it over. Okay, there we go. So that's the slide. And we need to get it in. So the inside of this have some rails that locks into this mechanism, this wheel over there. Okay, and while we're in here, is there any other parts that need something? No, this looks fine. The lubrication seems fine on this. This is the motor, the spindle that will turn the slate in and out, which is this. which seems to be okay, which seems not to be okay. The rubber band is super soft, so I don't think this works. Maybe. No, I'm not sure. Give me a second. I'm back. I have rubber bands. That's all I have. These are actually the rubber bands for the Amstrad CPC 464, the tape drive. It has two rubber bands, a large one and a small one. Let me just briefly see. Yes, so we have two. Does this fit over? It actually does. So I can only assume this. Yeah, this is hard and this doesn't work anymore. This needs to be rubbery and plastic. So this needs to go over here. Just need to make a disclaimer that, let me see, yeah, much stronger, that I will not sacrifice this rubber band for this CD-ROM drive. I don't care about the CD-ROM drive, honestly. I have many. So if we cannot fix this, I'm just throwing it out. Yeah, okay, let's take the slate back. I shall assume I'll just put it in on both sides underneath wherever it needs to be, and then I'll just push it in. Yes, lift it up over this. Now it slides this back. This should go down. So the reading head should fall down. So I need to push it. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I need to do it again. Need to push this slate forward so it falls down. So there's room for this to go in. So this is now all the way fell down, and I should be able to slide this in like this. There we go. Now it seems to work. Okay, you know what? Let me try to hook some power to it, and let's see if we press the button in the front to eject the slate, if it comes out or anything. Just need to understand this is a laser disc, so don't look into it when we turn power on. And I have the power over here. So we tested the power supply, so this is working in the computer. So I should just actually turn the power on. It did a tiny bit of a spindle. I can actually see the head is trying to find a disc. It moves up and down to get the focus aligned, but it sees there's no hard disk. So, CD-ROM drive in it. Let me push the eject button. Yes. Yes. Just for fun, I'll make a jump cut. I'll put this back, the one that was in, and let's try and see if I was right or not. It's easy. So let me make a quick jump. And we're back. Let's turn it on with the old one that was inside it. Spins. Let me press the eject button. Okay, I was wrong. It's working. It's actually working. Cool. So I don't need to sacrifice that rubber band. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We cannot test it. We need the computer up and running. So for that purpose, I think we need to, let me turn the power off. I will clean obviously this. I will put some API on the head which sits in there. So this is beautiful again. I'll put it back into the casing, and we will hope, I cannot locate it anymore, that this tiny metal piece doesn't need to be anywhere. I hope so, because now I lost it. Well, I'll locate it eventually. So I will take this to the side, and I'll keep up the desk. And we shall move this back in and get some focus on the main board, which I need us to have an understanding of what we're dealing with and so on and so forth. And we need to test the rails if there's any thing wrong with the board. Maybe some of the capacitors or anything in here has shortened something to ground. So we need to fix that. So let me arrange stuff. Let's have a look at this. Let's test the board. After that, let's hook up the power and see where we go from there. I think it's time for us to have a look at the inner of the computer, and just to quickly test it. Let me just get the riser card out like this. One of the things that I usually don't show you, but that actually is very important, is to test is whether or not for the power, this is an AT connection, so whether or not anything is shorted on the board before we put the power supply on it. We have tested it, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. So let me just very briefly go through that. So you put it on connectivity mode and then you test. So we have the power supply here, and this goes like this. So we have 4 black ones in the middle, which is ground. So there's 2 on each side, and that should be this one and this one. That is obviously shorted because it's ground, including this one and including this one. I know you can't maybe see it. So these 4 are the grounds, and if we have a look at the rest, none of them should be shorted to ground. So let's just see. Let me find it. There we go. This one is not shorted. This one is not shorted. Not shorted. Neither is this one. And I need to count is this one. And this one. This one. This one. Perfect. Nothing is shorted on the board. So I think what is left for us to do is have a very brief, I'm not going to talk very much about this board, as we have already seen a similar board. I just need to test the battery. So let me quickly do that. I expect this to be dead. So let me just go on there. I'm not sure you can see it. Let me put it up here. So there is what? 0.7 volts in a 3-volt battery. So that's not gonna work. I think I have a spare one laying around this one. So let's just, well, let me just test it before I actually put it in. This is giving me 3.1. So that is perfect. Let me just put it into the casing here. There we go. Perfect. Let's briefly have a quick talk about this one. This is the Razer card, and if I can figure this out, it goes like this. There is one thing that people need to understand with the Razer card. As you can see, there are 2 PCI and 2 ISA 16-bit slots. You cannot have 4 cards in this computer. And obviously there's only room for 3 in the cabinet, but you need to understand you cannot use this ISO slot and at the same time this PCI slot. These 2 are combined together, so therefore never use these at the same time. So you can use this one, and this one, or this one, and this one. Okay, that's just what I wanted to say about this card. Super briefly, so obviously we have the socket 7 here, we have the BIOS set, the chipset, sorry, for the motherboard. This is from Intel. This is the PCI set. Up here we have a Trident Super VGA chip that has 0.5 megabyte on the board, and you can populate with additional, so you have 1 megabyte in total. This is the feature connector over here. Over here we have some RAM. I had a brief look at them. They seem to be 8 megabyte, all of them. So this should be 32 megabyte. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see if and when we turn the computer on. One thing that strikes me is these 2 seems to have parity check on them. That's what we see here, and this doesn't. This is bank 0, so you start from here and go this way. This is bank 1. Here we have a cache controller slot, and I actually happen to have a cache module. So this goes in here. That is now 2nd level cache, because in a Pentium there is 1st level cache in it. So we can test and make some measurements to see whether or not this makes the computer faster if this is not going on for too long. Over here, just briefly want to mention, this goes together with this short bracket up there. This is where you can have an built-in sound card. I one day hope to find one of these sound cards to put in here. There we go. Floppy disk, hard disk controller sitting up here, and briefly want to talk about the 3 plugs. Obviously the tiny one, this is for a floppy disk, channel A and channel B, or 0 and 1. This is the primary hard disk controller plug. This is the secondary hard disk controller. So you move from inside to plug in your master hard disk to this one, and then in this case we had a CD-ROM drive. This was connected to this one, and up here we have the AC power supply. In the back we have PCI, PS2, keyboard and mouse, and COM ports and printer port, and the VGA plug over there. That's it. I don't want to talk much about it. Just want to just briefly mention, and this goes for the other ones that are similar to this computer. There are jumper settings on the board. They are usually over here and over here, and obviously you need to go to the manual. I'll come back to that. These jumper settings are the ones that you need to set in order to have the correct Pentium computer CPU inside. This board is a BA2306. This board doesn't exist. I'm saying this and I want to say it again. This board doesn't exist. Well, it exists. I can't find any documentation about this board. So we're stuck, but we are not. I have the original documentation for this computer line, the M4P something something, and we're talking about the P100S. And if I look at the documentation, this computer, these series, sorry, all of these, so the M4P something, the PCS51 and the PCS61, they all have either a, so it's always BA, 2237 or 2270 or 2262, 2280, 2284. 2306, higher number than any of these, doesn't exist in the documentation. I briefly had a look through the documentation. There are designs of the board, and the board that I can find, I think I'm spending too much time on this. You can always do this yourself. If I find this one, which is for these boards, this design with all the chips, the placement, the jumper settings and everything, it's the same. So I don't know what the difference is between the board I have and the board that are in the manual and looks like this. It's the same. I must assume we can just go from all the jumper settings. And over here it actually states about the jumper settings for the speed of the CPU and the clock frequency and interactions between the Razer card speeds and the CPU. It's all in there. So I'll take this to the side, and I think it's just time for me to hook up everything so we can speedily turn on the computer. And let me just briefly make this happen and then come back. I think I hooked more or less everything up. I have hooked in a keyboard. I'm waiting with the power. I just want to put in a card so we can see whether or not everything is working with the error codes, if there are any, and the voltage rails and stuff. I'm not hooking anything up like hard disk, floppy disk drive, and CD-ROM drive. I just want to see if it turns on. So power's on, and I'm clicking on the computer. Maybe something pops up. It is starting. I see error codes. It's counting memory. Okay, I put power to the hard disk. The hard disk is actually spinning up. My screen. is also coming up. So we have a computer, Pentium computer, and AMI BIOS. It's looking at some RAM. It is 32 megabyte RAM. Obviously, there's no hard disk. So perfect, perfect. I think I want to hook up the hard disk and the floppy disk drive. So this connector goes here. I think this one goes up here. I hope. I'm waiting with the CD-ROM drive because I expect the CD-ROM not to be working. Should we just try again? I think so, right? Let's just do it. It seems to see the hard disk. It seems to start Windows 95. I should have hooked up a mouse. Oh yeah. Crazy. I think I'm just gonna, okay, that's a crash. No, it's just because the computer's been shut down, obviously, before I got it, while it was in Windows, and people did not shut it correctly down, so now it wants to do scan disk and stuff. Let me just briefly turn it off. Let's rearrange the camera, and I'll hook up a mouse. Yeah, and maybe we should put this in and then have a look into the BIOS. So hold on. Let's put in the cache memory and see what happens. This is a first time for this computer, I think. The keyboard is hooked in and I hooked in the mouse. So let's just turn it on. Yeah. I can tell you the hard disk doesn't sound all good. Pipeline burst SRAM type detected. So that's just, okay, it's working. Well, it's an Olivetti, right? They most of the time always just work. It's just a horse. It's just a Italian horse that just keeps on running. It's just the external peripherals that sometimes is not working. Let me do the scan disk. And instead of going through the scan disk, we can actually just exit out of it and then say, I don't care, just start it up. Let's see what's in the computer. Windows has updated your clock as a result of daytime saving. Okay. It's Windows 95, but the date is absolutely not set. So we are in April. I think it's the, well, 2024. You can't do that. I need to, okay, arrow up and down. There we go. I don't know what the date is today. Let's just kick it on 12. I did something. What did I do? 13. Okay, whatever. I want 12. There we go. Okay. Okay. This computer comes from UK. So it's an English computer. I usually get them handed over from Italy most of the time. But this is actually a British computer. And with Office over on the side. Let's just quickly look at the computer itself. Properties for that. This belongs to Chris. 32 megabyte RAM. Everything is just as it should be. There's nothing here. The coax network card, I didn't take it in, even though it seems that it has some drivers. No, these are just the usual drivers. So, okay, fine. Let's, I have something interesting. This up here, Sage Instant Accounting. This is an accounting ERP system. So do I now own a computer from an accountant doing something on a company? It hasn't been wiped? Crazy again. Yeah. Okay, let's just see if there's any special stuff in it. Obviously, there's no sound cards, so this is not for gaming. There's something Adobe. Free serve, no idea. HP LaserJet 1100. The good old HP LaserJet. There's something Microsoft Reference, that's the bookshelf. There's Plan Finder Reference Live, no idea. And Sage. Sage is the accounting system. Besides that, it's just regularly Office package. Let's go on the hard disk. Oh my. I can see that the scan disk has done something prior to all of this. I can see something is 2005. Has this been, when was this again? This was was it 96 or 98? I can't remember when the stamp on the computer was. But this has been, OMG, this has been working 2008? Are you kidding me? Let me go to my documents. Holy macaroni! I wanna zoom in. Okay, people need to wipe the hard disks, but never. I'm not opening anything here, obviously. Let's modify. This is 2018. This is 6 years ago. This has been. People have been working on this until up to 6 years ago. Crazy! I'm not going into all the Word documents and stuff, but there's tons. How many are there? 466 documents in here. This is crazy. Let me briefly, I will start up Sage, which is the accounting system. If I see anything, I will obviously close and you're not gonna see it. This is the good old accounting system from 2000. This is crazy. Let's do customers. Oh wow, so there are customers in this. So this is not a demo, this is a real thing. If I move out, escape, there are suppliers in the system, there's even suppliers. Nominal, this is where you have your account numbers, that's in here. Bank, products, are there products in the system? No, so they didn't have an inventory. So this is crazy. I'm not gonna, hold on. Furniture, fixture, office equipment, plant, machinery. So this company, whoever did this, had something to do with, I don't know, decoration, or were they selling furniture? What is motor vehicle? Okay, wow. Let me get out of this. I'm definitely not going deeper into this computer. I just want to go back. No, back up, please. Just want to briefly see. I'm a little bit scared that that I have this. This could have been in the wrong hands and people could have, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Documents not doing that. What is Nicola? I can say that this up here, ENSTACC, that's the ERP system, the finance system. 2 documents not doing this. No idea what that is. This is program files. So yeah, okay, cool. This is one of the mill program with an accounting system from Sage on it. Is there even mail? There's Microsoft Outlook. Again, if I see anything private, I'll close it immediately down. This is still for Chris. Okay, this is tiny. So, do you remember this one? That was cute in the back, good old days. Let me maximize. Okay, so Outlook hasn't been worked on. There's no mail. This is just standard Outlook. Okay, so let me close this down. I restarted the computer. I just wanted to see whether or not, or how does this second level cache show up here in the screen, and I can see over here it says external cache 256 kilobyte, which is enabled, together with pipeline burst SRAM type detected. I will assume this, obviously this is the cache. So besides that, there was also a floppy in the computer. And if I just wait for us to have Windows started up, I will go out of Windows. Let's just have a look and peek if this is working. Remember, this computer was covered in like half a centimeter of dust and stuff. It's crazy it's even working. I'm amazed that the hard disk is working. This shouldn't, well, I don't know. The hard disk is a Seagate. They are okay-ish. So I'm amazed. But what about this one? I opened it up, like slide it over, and I turned it around. I don't see any dust on it. I have cleaned it also. I'm just curious to see if there's anything that I shouldn't know about on this one also. So let me just plug it in the front. I know you can't see it. It's in the CD-ROM, floppy disk drive. So let's see if I can find the program files, the Windows Explorer, and go on A drive. It is accepting it. I can hear, okay, cool. So definitely need to wipe this too. This is a Sage backup. So here we have a backup of the finance system within this computer. Crazy, 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 crazy. Let me move the camera a little bit around. I think we need to have a talk. Let me just close this down. It's getting a little bit repetitive with these kinds of Olivetti computers. This is why I think I'm just gonna stop here. I don't want to go through anything. I don't want to install Windows 95 and show this off to you, because you've seen this many times before on other videos on the channel. Unless you want me to do it, then I'm happy going through installing Windows 95, doing some more tests on it, see how fast it is. We could even, I think I actually have a Pentium 120. We could try to see how this will work in the computer. We could play around with it and see stuff. It's all up to you. I just don't want to show any more of the computer itself. One thing, the CD-ROM drive not working. It doesn't do anything. It's just dead. The drawer can go out, and I can see that the head is working and stuff, but it doesn't read anything. So the head is most likely crashed. So okay, I still cannot express how weird it is for me when I look at a computer and I see stuff on it. Private Word documents, finance stuff, and all of that. I know it shouldn't bother me, but it kind of like actually bothers me that I just got this computer out of nowhere and it still holds vital information. I can assure, once I've done this video, this will be wiped, because, yeah, nevertheless. So that's it. Again, I'm not going to do anything more about it because it's just a run of the mill. This is going to be my new go-to computer here in the studio instead of the 75 that I showed in the beginning. This is faster. This has cache memory in it. 32 megabyte of RAM. It's yay. The video card is like, so once I get hold of some video memory for it, I will pump it up to 1 megabyte, just to have more fun with it. But besides that, it's nice. I just have one tiny issue with it, and that's the mechanism for opening the casing is broken, and I somehow need to see if I can figure out a way to substitute the handles with something else. I'm not sure I can, but we'll see. Yeah. What more do I need to say? Obviously, the hard disk, it sounds, I think it will die soon. So I will use a compact flash card in this computer going forward. And then I will install Windows 95 on it. And the hard disk will just be wiped, as I said, and then it goes on the shelf with all the other hard disks. It's a weird thing with hard disk or for Windows computers because they will die no matter what. There are plastic bombs inside a hard disk that ensures that it doesn't, hit anything. So there are plastic and rubber and stuff, and that degrades inside the hard disk. So eventually this gets gluey and the hard disk will absolutely stop working. Hard disks were, back in the good old days, were meant to be working for 3, 4, maybe 5 years. These are 20, 25, 30 years old. It shouldn't be working. So there we go. Wanna stop talking? I'm talking way too much. Thank you for watching. Make some comments about what you think I should do with this. Should I bring it forward? Do you want me to try something on it? Do you have some special software or something you want me to install on it to test stuff? Just write to me. Put it in the comments or find my email and just, contact me. We'll try. This channel is not only for me to explore my vintage, whatever, but it's also for you. So interact with me. Ask me to do something with the computers and I'll try to do my very best. Remember, I'm not a professional like most of the other YouTubers. I'm just having fun together with all of you doing all of this. So I think now I need to stop. Thank you. Remember to subscribe. Important for me so my message can get out to other people. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you very soon again. And goodbye.